Gorillaz is a band formed by Blur's frontman Damon Albarn and Tango artist Jamie Hewlett, which they formed back in 1998, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys that are viewing this video already know about that. So, yeah, ever since they formed back in 1998, they've had some material that was either lost or we barely even have. So today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 lost pieces of Gorillaz media. Number 10, Snakes and Ladders, featuring Roots Manuva. This was a scrapped Phase 2 track that never saw light of day. From the snippet that we have from the bonus material of their 2008 documentary Bananas, we have the chorus and Roots' verse, which I personally think aren't that bad. It is a somewhat low quality snippet, but it's all we have of this track really. Later on though, in 2008, Martina Topley-Bird, another Gorillaz collaborator, was given the track and she reworked it into her own track, Soldier Boy. It had Roots' verse in there, which she doubles up on, and there was no Snakes and Ladders chorus or bass line, which makes sense considering this is more of a Martina song and not really Gorillaz. Eventually, when it was released, it was labeled as Soldier Boy, featuring Roots Manuva and Gorillaz, which appears as a B-side on the single Poison. Number 9, Slop Tropics featuring De La Soul, Cleopatra, Globe, Wannabe, Get In, and Been There. These are all track names that are from the Plastic Beach era, which would be 2008 through 2010, which we never really got snippets for, or do we? In the documentary The Making of Plastic Beach, there are a few snippets that were used, and either we don't know what the snippet titles were for, or maybe we do know them. It's quite possible that they could have been used for tracks such as United Summer, Globe, Cleopatra, Wannabe, Get In, Been There, or of course Slop Tropics. I really hope one of these snippets were for one of those tracks, considering it'd be really awesome to hear these someday. And also, these tracks were the way we found these track names were through a copyright system that was made, where a bunch of trademarks were made, and people did surf those and found these track names. Plus, with the whole Free the Sea petition, which was delivered to Damon, we really don't have a concrete answer on if we actually will get to hear these tracks. Number 8, Phase 4 Snapchat snippets. These snippets were posted onto the Gorillaz Snapchat, and many people thought they were going to be on their 2017 album, Humans, which they weren't. They also never appeared on the deluxe or super deluxe editions of the album either. So it's unknown what these tracks could be. It's possible they could possibly be demos for any of the tracks that we hear for sure, but I highly doubt that's the case. Number 7, We Got the Power Britpop version, featuring Graham Coxon. In the liner notes of Humans, for the track We Got the Power, it shows in parentheses version and then its runtime. Eventually people found out there was a Britpop version and featured Blur's guitarist, Graham Coxon. As it stands, we'll probably never hear this version of We Got the Power, but hopefully someday we will. Number 6, 5-4 and Rhinestone Eyes music videos. In 2001, Gorillaz were planning to release 5-4 as a single, but it kept getting replaced by 2000 and Rocked House, and eventually they just completely canceled the music video and the single itself. We know it was going to be a single thanks to the Phase 1 interview tape, Apex tapes, and also an animatic which exists, and some other things too. The animatic is on YouTube and on the Celebrity Takedown DVD, and has a slightly different version of 5-4. It's possible this could be a single edit, or maybe it was some weird alternate take that never made the cut for the album. You also can find a fan music video for it on YouTube, which someone animated. I might not link in the description since I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but if I can, who knows. Rhinestone Eyes, on the other hand, has a much different story, I guess. In 2010, It was going to be the 4th single from the album Plastic Beach, but due to EMI not wanting to pitch in with the funding, due to the funding being low from Damon and Jamie, and also Damon and Jamie having creative differences and they would also fight a bit, it was scrapped. The single did get replaced by Donkomatic featuring Daly, which personally I don't think is too bad of a track, but I really wish we would have gotten Rhinestone Eyes as a single instead. Animatic is also available on YouTube, and plus, a person by the name of Richard Van Az did make a fan version of the music video, which got noticed by Gorillaz, and is also really good, and I recommend you check it out. Number 5, Leviathan. Alright, I'm just gonna say right here, from here on out, most of the things are gonna be Phase 3 related, with the sole exception of number 1. So just a little heads up. So Leviathan was a track that was going to be on Plastic Beach, but never made it on there for some odd reason. Mostly because Damon felt it didn't fit in with the album. One of the features on there, the Horrors, ended up getting in universe lore as well. They got in universe lore as in, well, in the Murdoch's Pirate Radio series. Murdoch brought up that each member was one of his kids, apparently. Which, whatever, I'm not gonna question it. The track was supposed to be about a man having crazy delusions of a whale trying to kill him, which, I mean, kind of makes sense. Whatever. And a snippet for a demo of sorts for this track can be heard in the documentary The Making of Plastic Beach. Number 4, Mr. Light, Sea of Beauty, Omar Song featuring Omar Suleiman, Crashing Down, Prawn Porn, Terry's Tear, Sunday Monday, Sick Parrot, A Very Dark Night, No Service Here, Rise to Ice, 2D ident version / demo, and Subdive Dusk. These are all tracks that have snippets and they all got scrapped in some shape or form. Mr. Light, Prawnborn, Terry's Pier, Sunday Monday, Sick Parrot, and No Service Here we really don't know much on. Aside from the fact No Service Here is like 2 minutes, and it's not too bad in my opinion. The Rhinestone Eyes 2D ident might have been an alternate version or demo to Rhinestone Eyes, which it doesn't sound too bad. It also did feature in the 2D ident, obviously. Crashing Down was a track that was in the Russell ident, and we have a 30-second snippet for it. Somewhat did get finished because the documentary, I believe, that took place in the Middle East had Arabic vocals, and it was about 2 minutes, which it isn't too bad of a track. Sea of Beauty was a track that got reworked into a track called Tree of Beauty from Damon's 2012 opera Dr. D. This also wasn't the only Plastic Beach track to get reworked for that, one of the others being Apple Cart, which got reworked into Apple Carts, which never really saw a snippet aside from The Making of Plastic Beach. Omar's song did get a mention from the iTunes session interview when Murdoch brought up they had recorded a track with Omar Suleiman. A Very Dark Night was used in the Cyborg Noodle ident, and we also do have a sort of animatic for that ident in The Making of Plastic Beach. There's not much else on the tracks aside from teasers, names, and their musical content. Plus, most of the names for them were found through the same copyright / trademark thing that we found for Slope Tropics, Cleopatra, and the others. Number 3, Seasides. This was going to be a B-side compilation album to accompany Plastic Beach, which would have released in 2011, but it was cancelled because Damon wanted to put out The Fall instead. Plus, there was a contractual obligation from EMI to put out another CD that year, and Damon eventually obviously chose The Fall, which I really don't understand why. Plus, the artwork for it was printed out and everything, but eventually it was called off. Number 2, Carousel. Carousel was what Plastic Beach initially was until it eventually morphed into it. You see, most of the tracks were themed around it, or around the album's title in a way, but eventually tracks started to not sound like that, and it just became Plastic Beach in a way. The following 3 tracks were played on Damon Albarn's BBC Radio 1 takeover in January 2009, just 14 months shy of Plastic Beach release. The following tracks were Broken, well, the demo to Broken, Stylo demo, aka Binge, and Electric Shock demo. These were all, of course, going to be on Plastic Beach. Well, Broken and Stylo made it on there, but Electric Shock didn't. There's also another version of Electric Shock that you can hear in the making of Plastic Beach, and Damon also played in 2014, I believe, for a SoundCloud mix, which I actually kind of like. Honorable mention. This is the only honorable mention, so whatever. The rest of Phase 3's story. You see, Phase 3 was going to have more of a story, but of course it never truly got finished. Pretty much ended when Murdoch's Pirate Radio Episode 5, the fall review, came out, and I guess you could say it truly did end when Do Ya Thing released. Supposedly Phase 3 was going to end in the apocalypse, and, well, yeah, but instead it ended with the evangelist taking the boogeyman away, and that's about it. Oh, and then making it back to the Do Ya Thing house or whatever. But later on it did get retconned by the Instagram Book of series. Alright, number 1, Celebrity Harvest. I know this was kind of an obvious pick, but whatever. This was a canceled Gorillaz movie that was planned to release in 2003 or 4 that was also rejected by many companies, including DreamWorks, due to the fact it was too dark. The movie was going to have Murdoch's metal band, zombie Murdochs, cannibals, and all sorts of weird things that are just weird. There's like a whole thing on the Gorillaz wiki. Del, the funky Homo sapien, or as he is in the universe, Del the Ghost Rapper, was supposedly going to be a villain at one point and then would get taken away by the Reaper. The list goes on for many things that were going to happen in the movie, and some images for it can be found on the internet for storyboards. Also, in a recent interview from Hallelujah Monkeys that they did with Cass Brown, Cass revealed there were over 300 pages for storyboards in the film, and also brought up that those wouldn't be put out until everyone associated with the project is dead. The film's name also appeared in the liner notes for Blur's 2003 album, Think Tank. Did you like this list? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. And let me know what I should have put in. I'd be happy to hear. And, you know, it'd be nice if I'd also like to know what your list would be. It could either be like top 10 or top 5 or whatever. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you have yourself a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, or day, whenever you're watching this video. Goodbye.